This is the Cleveland Podcast.
Hey, Cleveland! It's Caesar. Today is Sunday, April 26th, and we're still on lockdown from COVID-19, the coronavirus. It's been over a month since this all began, and we're still hunkering down in our own individual ways, and that's kind of the theme of today's episode. I'm going to try to keep things somewhat lighthearted and positive today because, honestly, we're all just a little tired of feeling down and out. Everyone is experiencing this isolation differently, and I'd like to check in with a few Northeast Ohioans and see how they're feeling about their situations, how the stay-at-home order is affecting them, and how they're finding ways to overcome the disconnect that the coronavirus has caused. I want to find out how they're adapting to what some people are now calling the new normal. Fred isn't here in the studio today with me, but through the magic of technology, I'm able to go ahead and check in with him. The last time that I talked to him, he said that he hadn't left his apartment in like over a month, so I hope that he's holding up okay. Let's see here. Let me hold on. I gotta get my little device here and just push this button and got it. Hey, Fred, how you doing after being locked up inside your apartment for over a month?
I'm going crazy in here. This is insane. I don't know where to go. I don't know what's going on. Podcast.
Oh, no. He doesn't seem to be dealing with this too well. I'll check back in with him a little later once he pulls himself together a bit. But, as you can see, this lockdown can be stressful on people. It's actually been pretty stressful on me at times, too. Even though I am somewhat introverted and I usually enjoy my alone time, I really miss getting out and hanging out with friends and meeting new people. Everything being closed is brutal.
Hello, Caesar. Sorry to interrupt your show, but I was listening to the Cleveland Podcast last week, and it came to my attention that my introduction to the show was no longer being used in the opening credits. Complete hogwash.
Old-timey sports guy. I'm in the middle of a show.
What kind of monkey shine have you been up to?
Well, we're trying to make the show a little bit shorter each week, and in order to do that, we have to get rid of the opening introduction and also the song at the end.
Absolute Tommy Rot.
Old-timey sports guy, the music added like 3 or 4 minutes to each episode, and we just wanted to get to the content a little bit faster. Plus, the introduction was a little loud. We wanted to make sure that our show was a little easier for people to listen to in the workplace.
Caesar, are you implying that I'm too loud?
You can be a little bit loud at times.
It's like I don't live around anymore. Fuck! What's this wrong? I was wrong to be on the show.
Oh, smelly moldy ghost. Where did you come from?
I could move for a while, Shifty Brains. Why don't you want us around anymore, man? It's a conspiracy, man.
It's not
The government's behind it. You know, the microdots and 5G. If you hear about 5G, man, I give you bet. Friends, he's using 5G
We're not
now.
using 5G.
Those rotten government agents, man.
It's not a
you ever hear about
conspiracy.
microdot, man? You look up GTA San Andreas, man. GTA San Andreas. The truth is talking about this, man. Have you ever seen that, man? Have you ever seen polar bears talk while you're in an acid dream?
No.
That's the microdots,
No.
man. That's that 5G, man. It takes over your mind. You start to see talking polar bears in the middle of tents, man. It's mind-blowing, man. I'm telling you, friend Caesar, man, the government agents, man, I've seen it. Time-traveling vampires. I saw an old image of Caesar from like 1540, like a tapestry.
None of that's
and all
true.
that.
None of this is true.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man,
No.
it looks exactly the same. Time-traveling vampire, microdot, polar bear, man.
What is wrong with you? It's not a conspiracy. We're just working towards creating better content.
You want to provide better contact, brother? You're going to need more energy. And nothing has better for energy than steroids. Come on now, brother. Let's pump some iron, pump some weights. Come on, Caesar. Come on, Fred. I haven't heard Fred say they didn't want me back because I made the studio smell like rotten eggs and dog shit. I mean, that's after a 5-hour session on Perhab.
You could use a shower, smelly moldy ghost. You're downright rotten.
They got rid of me because I typed too slow.
Wait, aren't you me?
They're trying to send us off to Nowheresville.
They've sent us to Coventry. What's wrong with Coventry? I love that area of town. Aren't you a bit daft? Coventry is in England? Oh,
This show could use a bit of culture and class like it did when I was guest on the show.
They really lost the plot.
I'm a famous sportcaster, and they haven't had me back since episode 4. That is a disgusting act by Fred and Caesar. Let's ask for forgiveness.
You know, microdots, 5G, 5G minutes, I give you back. Fred Caesar, 5G minutes. Government aid, man. Give your money, microdot.
Guys, calm down. We're not getting rid of any of you. We've just been forced to do things a little differently because of the coronavirus. We're not happy about it either. And as soon as things return to normal, we'll invite each and every one of you back onto the show as guests, okay?
It would be a huge mistake to get rid of your most prized asset. Me, old-timey sports guy.
All right, I'll ask the listeners what they think, but please, can you let me get back to the show? Please shut the door behind you on your way out.
Guns behind it. You know, microdots, 5G minutes, I give you back. Fred Caesar, 5G minutes.
We should check in with Fred again and see if he's doing any better. Hey, Fred, you feeling any better?
Cabin fever. Oh, God, what's going on with me? I'm losing my mind. What is that? It's the dish. The dish I never washed. Why are you there? What did I wash it, or was it there in the first place and just was never washed? What is going on? I can't even know what's going on anymore. Everything looks the same. It's the same colors. It's the same room. I'm stuck in here for the past month and a half. I don't know what's going on anymore. I just feel like I'm losing my mind.
No, I guess not. Ugh. But let's get back to the original subject matter of how people are dealing with the lockdown. I was reading a post on Reddit back when the COVID-19 outbreak began, and a guy on there was complaining about how the woman that he had been dating ghosted him all of a sudden. He said it was at the exact same time when people started freaking out about the epidemic, and he suspected that the two things were related. It made me think about how this lockdown has really made many of us reevaluate where we are in life. There's nothing like a global pandemic to really force someone to wonder if they could be doing things differently. Maybe living life a little bit better, whether it be big changes or even just little things. No joking, my New Year's resolution was to get out of the house more often and start meeting new people again. I started out by going to Coffee Club in Broadview Heights with some friends. Then I went to Metropolitan Coffee in Old Brooklyn and even attended an event at the Cleveland Botanical Gardens. It got off to a great start. Needless to say, that resolution is not going well anymore. Late last year, between working 50 hours a week, having fun with the podcast, exercising each night, and all those other projects that I do, I completely ran out of time to think about romance. Somewhere around our holiday break, I realized that things probably needed to change. I needed to force myself to get back out into the dating world. And that's part of the resolution. That's when I first started thinking about the resolution. And things started out going well. I was getting out. I was meeting people. I was having fun. But then what do you know? A global pandemic of catastrophic proportions completely ruined my otherwise successful New Year's resolution. And of course, I wrote a song about it. And I'm going to play it for you right now. I call it Alone for the Global Pandemic. Here it goes. Why did I not go on more dates before the global pandemic? Why did I not fulfill these needs before the lockdown began? Now I'm stuck at home, I'm all alone, not getting any action. Could I blame it all on Mike DeWine or Dr. Amy Acton? Or should I blame myself for just not going on more dates before the outbreak began? Why did I not go sing at Corky's back when Emily asked me? Why did I not hang out on Coventry with Lilith and Eve? Now I'm wondering if I could even steal a woman's heart, 'cause it's hard to steal something from someone who's 6 feet apart.
And I can't even go outside, so I could try to find someone to flatten the curve with. Inside this room, I could try my luck online with maybe Match or Zoom or Tinder. But why did I just not go on more dates over the winter like extroverts do?
All right, we've given Fred a few minutes. Let's check in and see if he's feeling any better. Fred?
What is going on? It's just all insane.
He is just not handling this very well. All right, well, let's go to our voicemail and see if there's anyone who hasn't lost their marbles.
Hi, this is Derek from Berea, and I'd like to talk about how the coronavirus has led to a lot of positive things in my life. I know that's a horrible thing to say with such negative going on in the world, but a lot of good things have come out of this for my family. Now, by all means, I won't say that I haven't had a few scares or anything like that, where my wife and I are fortunate to work from home. She's always worked from home. There was a few scares where one of us thought we might not have a job, but things have worked out so far. But it's been great not having to go to work and waste 45 minutes getting there, 45 minutes getting back, getting ready and all of that. I've had time to spend more with my family. Since we're stuck in the house, we kind of have to rely on each other for entertainment instead of, going here and there and, either we're too tired or they're buried on TV or their tablets or whatever. So we've done a lot of stuff closer together. I have a side business that I've been able to devote more time to. So that's, even though I haven't made as much money, I've been learning and putting more time into it, growing it, and that has been awesome. So it's just, I feel bad saying that so much good in my life has happened, but then there's so much negative out. I've seen people who've lost jobs and everything like that. It's just, it's surreal to know what's going on because not much has changed as far as what my family does. We're very homebodies anyways. I order a lot of stuff online. We order our groceries already. So it wasn't a big change to have to do that. And I've worked from home before in a previous job. So that was an easy switch and I was kind of looking forward to it. So it's been really good for me. And I guess I wanted to highlight the positives out of all the stuff that's just politics and just the deaths and everything going on. Some good things are happening in the world. It kind of reminds me of, if you've seen the YouTube channel, Some Good News, and they put out a lot of just what's good happening in the world since there's so much negative and bad stuff happening. So that's all I really have to say. Thanks for listening. You guys are doing great. Take care.
Derek makes some great points here, and he has a great outlook. I think that there is a lot of opportunity for people to take this unfortunate experience and turn it into a positive thing. Of course, as he mentioned, the stay-at-home order is affecting everybody differently. Some have lost their jobs. Some have had their hours reduced. Some love working from home. Others not so much. Personally, I worked from home for about 2 months a few years ago, and I realized pretty quickly that it just wasn't for me, at least in those circumstances. I guess maybe I'm the kind of person who needs more structure, I suppose. But this is a really cool opportunity for some like Derek. Maybe when we get back to normal, businesses will realize that they can save money by just having people work from home. A lot of things are probably going to change after all this is over. One thing that I've personally always wished is that wearing face masks was socially acceptable here in the US like it has been in China for so many years. Looks like I'm going to get my wish, and now that it's happening, I'm not sure that I like it as much as I thought I would. I was talking to another friend earlier this week, and just like Derek, she said that not having to take her commute to work and back each day gives her an extra hour and a half. Imagine having an extra hour and a half of your life back each day. I'm not very good at math, but I think that's like 390 hours a year. What would you do with 390 extra hours of your life each year? And then, of course, there's the flip side of this. Other essential workers have been asked to work unbearably long shifts to the point where they're completely exhausted. And it's really interesting to see who the people are who are considered essential in these circumstances, specifically grocery store and retail workers. I've worked enough retail in the past to know that these people sometimes get treated really badly for oftentimes really lousy pay. And then, of course, there's our frontline heroes, the medical workers working those long 12-hour shifts. But no matter what our circumstances are, at least within reason, I think it's really important to find the positive in whatever situation we're in. We'll probably actually get Derek on as a guest of the show as soon as we get back to our normal format. He is a really interesting guy who helped guide us through the launch of our podcast last year. And he also has a podcast or two of his own that I really enjoy. I'm going to play another message here. This one's from our old friend Jake.
Hi, this is Jake from Aurora. My story is about shopping during the quarantine and coronavirus crisis. This crisis never really set in with me until I went shopping for my favorite brand of butter at the store. But of course, really didn't set in until I realized they were out of that. And they've never been out of that before. Worst movie ever.
While it may seem silly or trivial, I completely agree with Jake on this. This is going to sound like an ad, which it isn't. Azteca tortillas are by far the most delicious burrito wraps that you can find at some of the local grocery stores here in Northeast Ohio. All of the other burrito shells, by comparison, just kind of seem mushy to me. I usually pack some type of sandwich wrap in my lunch every day, so when the stores ran out of this specific brand that I like the best, I had that same moment of panic that Jake felt when they ran out of his favorite butter. By no means is this the worst thing that's happening in the world, but somehow it's like that thing that could deal the death blow to your psyche. The thing that you enjoy that you always assume will be there, not being there because of this, can be a hard pill to swallow, no matter how unimportant it seems in the grand scheme of things. When I saw that empty shelf, I felt like Charlton Heston at the end of Planet of the Apes. You maniacs! You took my tortillas! Darn you! I don't think Charlton Heston said darn you, but darn you all to heck. This episode has an explicit tag, so I'm not sure why I just didn't come out and say it. But darn you to heck, you mother humpers. Tremors, if you've ever seen Tremors. And now we have one last voicemail from another friend of the show. Her name is Jamie. I'm going to play it here.
Hi, my name's Jamie. I'm calling from the Akron area. I was just calling in to just talk a minute about social media and virtual reality, I guess, during this pandemic. I'm a very social person, and so this stay-at-home order has been really trying for me and my brain and some of my friends and family too, since, no hugs, no physical contact, no getting together, no parties, no dances, none of that. Bars and restaurants are closed. So I've kind of resorted to, just kind of wanted to share a couple things that have kept me a little bit more sane. So social media has gotten kind of crazy, and I'm finding it a little bit easier as the longer we get into this, but for a good while it was just really depressing to scroll through because everything was just all the negative related to this thing. So what I started doing when we started getting stuck at home was Friday night I created a Facebook group. Started off as a virtual happy hour, but then it turned into a virtual cocktail party. But I used the Zoom app. That's what I chose to do. I paid the whopping $15 to upgrade it to the level where you don't have a time limit or anything. But I have it as a recurring event. But Friday night virtual cocktail parties at 7:30, and people log in whenever they want. I'm always on at 7:30. Usually somebody else is too. I started doing themes each week, like I've done pajama party. Tomorrow's going to be ugly sweater. Nothing big, just something to kind of change it up. The other thing I started doing with social media was we attempted to play Mad Libs one night on one of my Zoom parties, and it didn't really go over too well. It's just too big of a group, not everybody's paying attention, different, whatever. So I started using Facebook as my platform to play Mad Libs. So the way that I play it on Facebook is there's the top sheet that has just what type of word and lines, and then the story with the blanks to fill in. So I take a picture of just the blanks and ask people to fill it in. People responded really well, and then I read the story using Facebook Live, and I play with the filters, or I just grab props, hats, glasses, whatever. Just something to just make it more fun. And I read the story, and it's sometimes a really big laugh. Other times it's just kind of whatever, but, it's just a few moments to kind of pass the time and break up the crap that has become my Facebook feed from pandemic stuff. So, but yeah, that's it. Just trying to share those couple things that I've been doing to kind of combat this loneliness. Take care.
It's a really good thing that there's people like Jamie who just kind of unselfishly make fun events for the community. And I completely agree with her about the constant bombardment of negativity on social media, surrounding the COVID-19 outbreak. As I spoke about in a previous episode, I snoozed a lot of people on Facebook. I feel like even in times of tragedy, maybe more than ever, actually, it's important to be in control of the things that fill your mind. I've been really guilty of being consumed by bad news and tragedy in the past, and I really wish to never have it happen again. So for me, staying busy and having projects to think about really helps a lot. And at least in my experience, meditation can sometimes help to maintain control over the things that I think about. Of course, the irony of saying all of this is that I've been talking to you the entire episode about the coronavirus lockdown for the last, half hour or whatever it is. But I hope we did it in a way where it made you laugh a little, or maybe you related to or found some inspiration from the feedback that we got from our listeners. Before we leave, though, I want to check back in with Fred one last time.
It's all the same. It's the same colors. It's the same. Was this beard here? Or is it gone? Or is it even not there? Almuerzo, almuerzo, almuerzo.
Wow. It really does not sound like he is doing well. I probably need to get over there and check on him in person. So we'll just end things here. I really appreciate the people who called in and left messages. I personally think that it makes the show way more interesting when we interact with the community and our community interacts with us, especially since we are a community-oriented show. I'd like to encourage more people to call in the future. I really hope that you enjoyed a little bit of levity in this unfortunate time of quarantine. So thanks again to the medical workers and the people on the front lines for doing all that you do. There will be another Fred Talks episode next week. See you later. Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us online at facebook.com/The Cleveland Podcast, or get links to all of our various different social media pages at theclevelandpodcast.com. Our episode notes for this and other episodes can be found in the photo albums on our Facebook page. You can follow along as you listen, as well as learn more from our sources about the subjects that we cover. You can also find links on our website to our YouTube channel, Spreaker, Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, and more. Leave us a voicemail at 216-200-7940. Send us an email at theclevelandpodcast@gmail.com, or interact with us on Reddit, Facebook, or Twitter. We'd love to use your comments, ideas, and feedback in the show. We are a community-based podcast, so the more community interaction, the better. Have a great day, Cleveland.